After Terance Crawford's win over Israel Madrimov at 154 pounds a couple weeks ago, and becoming a 4-divisional world champion in the process, I'm left with the question, could Terance Crawford beat Canelo Alvarez? Now before we get into if he could beat Canelo, let's analyze his performance against Israel Madrimov at 154 pounds. Now I will say Madrimov was the first person to stump Terance Crawford in a long time. That shows with the fact that he broke Crawford's 11 KO streak, with the fact that this fight went to decision. Now people were trying to downplay Madrimov because he only had 10 fights up until this Crawford fight, but he has had 104 amateur fights, 79 of which he's won. So he's not someone that was meant to be easy for Crawford to walk through, as some fans were trying to make it seem. Now Madrimov was really patient, as he wasn't falling for any of Crawford's feints in the beginning rounds, and was feinting good himself, as he was landing good combinations himself and was winning a good couple rounds in the middle of the fight to a couple rounds near the end of the fight. But what I believe won this fight for Terance Crawford was the counter punching, especially the body shots, as I believe they were breaking Madrimov down, which slowed him down in the championship rounds. Overall, I believe both guys had great defense in this fight, but as I said before, I do believe that Crawford was landing the better shots throughout the fight, as shown by the punch stats. As Crawford threw more power punches, granted he landed less than Madrimov, but I believe that the punches that he did landed more damage than the punches Madrimov landed. Overall, I thought it was a great fight between two guys who were trying to set up feints but not fall into the other guy's traps. But as I said before, I believe the reason Bud won this fight was because of the 11th and the 12th rounds, as I had my scorecard tied before these two rounds, where Bud came out trying to finish Madrimov. Bud threw out a lot more combinations in the 11th and was landing much cleaner shots than he had previously in this fight, and was making Madrimov miss a bunch of his punches. But it was the 12th round. I feel from the start of the round, Bud was truly trying to close out the show, which is shown in the 12th round punch stats, as he threw more power punches in this round than any other round before. But unfortunately, he didn't manage to close out the show, but the aggression he showed in the championship rounds gave him the win in the end. Overall, I think this was a good win for Bud, as Israel Madrimov is still fairly young and will definitely become a champion again, and a great champion at that. I also think this fight proved that Bud can hang with the guys at 154, and that's not too much of a jump in weight for him, as I could see him beating the other guys at 154 pounds. But Bud possibly becoming undisputed at 154 isn't what this video is about. It's about whether he can jump 2 more weight classes and fight Canelo Alvarez at 168 pounds. Now the short answer is, I don't think so anymore. Bud didn't look bad at 154 pounds, granted it was his first fight at that weight, but him jumping up 2 more weight classes to fight Canelo at 168 doesn't seem like a good idea anymore. But regardless, we're gonna go over why I don't think this would work out for Bud anymore, as I did before he made his 154 pound debut. Now before his fight with Israel Madrimov, people really did believe that Bud could pull off an upset win against Canelo Alvarez. He had just come off the best win of his career against Errol Spence, where he had dominated the fight after the first round and put away Spence to become the undisputed champion at 147 pounds. There were talks about him jumping 3 weight classes to fight Canelo Alvarez, and at the time me and many others thought that maybe Bud could pull off an upset win against Canelo. But after his fight with Israel Madrimov, my opinion on that has changed, and it has also changed for many other people. Bud didn't necessarily look bad against Madrimov. In fact, I thought he looked very sharp, and that it was a display of high-level boxing shown in that fight. Rather, it's just more of the thought of Bud moving up 2 more weight classes to fade a monster of an opponent that is Canelo Alvarez. Bud's power has translated well from 147 to 154, regardless of what Madrimov says. You can see on his face it's battered up after the fight, and if you've seen Bud's post-fight interview, his face was fairly fine, so he could take the shots well. But we don't know how well Bud's power is going to translate at 168 when he's fighting those bigger guys, especially who he is fighting at 168 pounds. He's fighting goddamn Canelo, and Canelo's got that Mexican style of boxing. He's going to keep walking forward and try to break down Bud with body shots until Bud can't take them anymore. And even if he can, Canelo's just going to keep coming at him until he gets the job done. Now I could see Bud moving the whole time, counter-punching as Canelo tries to get on the inside, which could lead to Bud winning if he's careful with how he moves and doesn't let Canelo land anything big. But I don't think he can take those big shots if they do manage to land, because even though Bud does walk around at 169-ish pounds, Canelo is cutting from 200 something to make 168 pounds. So he's going to be way bigger than Bud in that ring. It also seems like this fight isn't even going to happen anymore, as even the Prince Turki Ali seems to have lost interest in this fight after the Madrimov fight. Overall, it seems that Canelo is too big, too strong, and his style could be a potential mismatch for Bud. But who knows, maybe if this fight does end up happening one day, Bud might be able to pull off one of the biggest upsets in boxing. So that's going to be it for this video, covering whether Terance Crawford could beat Canelo Alvarez. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to like and subscribe. I would really appreciate it. And comment down below whether you guys think that Bud could beat Canelo, or he would lose because of the weight difference, or because of Canelo's style. And as always, thank you guys for watching.